So, I don't know how many of these videos I've recorded so far, and I find it interesting that now I'm just getting the first one near completion that I recorded way back in January, and I know I've recorded some that are even older than that. But one of the things I found is like, I like how I can visually cut, but I think the biggest weakness, ironically, was the thing I was expecting to be the big strength, and that is the background music. I wrote all the background music myself and recorded it in Logic, and the tracks are good, but I found when I paired them with the video, they become a distraction. And the reason I think that is that the music itself became way too busy. It works excellent on top of the title, but this means that the background music that I do in my actual video itself has to be a lot more simplified. And also I think it's just figuring out when there needs to be music and when there doesn't need to be music. And doing that for your own content's kind of hard. But, you know, that's just it. Like, I know when I do B-roll transitions like this, you know, it can, yeah, that's a good spot for a musical cue. But if I'm just doing dialogue like this and trying to explain something, well then maybe not, you know, because it really depends. If this is more informational, I don't think music serves as good of a purpose there. But if I'm trying to communicate something that has emotionality to it, then maybe music could add something, add an extra dimension, emphasize the emotion I'm wanting to communicate instead of detracting from it. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Right now, this is me trying to wrap my head around something. There's a lot of things I've been trying to wrap my head around. Like a big one is just scheduling time for your creative pursuits. But that's a recurring theme, and it seems to be a dead horse I keep beating with these videos. Maybe it is like one of the pressing themes of my life right now. But you know, when I like, there are two moments that I feel truly the most alive. Well, actually, 3 moments. The moments where I'm playing with my children. You know, I could be having a goofy conversation with my daughter, or tickling my oldest son, or tossing my youngest son up into the air and pressing my nose to his. You know, cute, great little family moments. You know, I feel really alive in that. You know, there are times where I'm with my wife and I'm able to just say, hold her, or something like that. And I feel alive in those moments too. But beyond that, where I feel most alive, beyond moments I spend with my wife and my family, the moments I feel most alive are when I'm creating something. I need that. If I go too long without creating, I become despondent. I go into a funk. I get depressed. it's life fuel. It's creating, whether it's video content, written content, musical content, it comes natural. It's natural to me. I have to do it in order to function, in order to feel right with myself. It's like breathing. If I don't do it, I die. Except in this case, the death is spiritual, not physical. You know, and sometimes the people around me don't always understand that. And sometimes, you know, I neglect that for the sake of the people around me. You know, and sometimes life actually does require that, because sometimes there are things that you just simply got to put on the back burner. But at the same time, you don't want to fall into the survivorship mentality where you're simply surviving crisis to crisis. That's the mindset of, I honestly think that's got to be the mindset of poverty. And that's one thing I've noticed among all of my friends who are similarly poor. And it's a mentality I've noticed, you know, even in some members of my family as well. That everything is just going from crisis to crisis to crisis. And I kind of grew up that way. I think my wife did too, in a sense. And because of that, because of the stress that kind of living places on you, you don't actually think about growing, about changing, about overcoming, about empowering yourself. And for me, doing these YouTube videos is one step of self-empowerment. It's something concrete that I can do. A place where I can actually express and share my thoughts. I tried vlogging. I'm much too impatient for that. This, you know, communicating with my voice actually in a way feels a little bit more natural, which is kind of funny because I'm horrible at public speaking traditionally. But just me alone talking to a camera, it's just like if I was just sitting here talking to myself and thinking out loud, which I would probably be doing anywhere because I'm weird like that. But let me not get ahead of myself right now. What was I going to do? Oh, that's right. Forgot I had some errands I need to run. Anywho. But the thing is, there's opportunity for me creating this work, for having a YouTube channel. Even being based in a town like Springfield, I think there's opportunity for me to do a YouTube channel. The whole thing is I've got to put in the time to get better at my craft. The thing is, I've already created a lot of video content, and there's a whole ton of it that's probably not going to ever see the light of day or get uploaded because it's crap. And I'm fine with that. However, I have decided that I am going to keep the episodes that I've done of music philosophy, the original YouTube channel I started. I'm going to keep those up. Because if I do make something, or actually no, when I make something out of this channel, I want something to be there to stand in that place that shows, okay, if I got my start doing content that is this awkward, this unpolished, and possibly not even all that engaging, maybe even boring. Hey, wait your turn. Sorry. I needed to yell at somebody. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I mean, my episodes of those, I only did 10 of them. And I think maybe with the exception where I'm actually at the piano playing something, I think all those things are boring. I think I was boring. I was too busy trying to be serious and informative and good, and I just wasn't being natural. I wasn't even being naturally myself. You know, and the thing is, with this, I can just talk and be myself, and, you know, warts and all. It may not always be pretty, but, you know, I think I am getting better at the delivery of it. I think I'm better at just not hesitating and just being able to think. And if I make a faux pas, well, then I can just say, F it, I'll fix it in editing. See, and I just said fuck. I normally don't ever cuss on this channel. But anyway, the thing is, it's keeping at it. And you know, one of the other things I figured out is, I think the website, I think I'm going to put that on hold. I'm going to keep the domain name because I need to, but the website I've got to put on hold. And the reason for that is just, I got to figure out what my strategy is going to be with that. Do I want a site that's mostly static, or do I want something that's, you know, community driven, but, you know, that's going to require a lot of work? Or do I want something that I can update, you know, every so often? Or do I want something that updates very regularly? I mean, who knows? Because the thing is, I've also got to think about how much time do I actually have to work on this. Because if my YouTube channel and all that stuff is any indication, it's not going to be that much. And there's going to be so much I have to do that's going to be competing. So I am pretty much going to need a site that is, for now, somewhat static, but can be updated as I need to. So, who knows? Anywho, I think one of the best things I can possibly do for myself right now is to try to keep on creating and figuring out ways to streamline the editing process so I can get out content and videos faster. And you know, part of that is just, I gotta get better at the art and science of editing video. And I think the only way to do that is to do more of it, just like shooting more video will help me get better at presenting on video. It really is true. There's so much in life that you can only read so much about it, but to really learn it, you gotta do it. And anyway, that's all I have for today. So, peace out. Have a great day.